on each and every individual to the amount that is necessary to get that individual through his or her day, doing what is pleasing to God. Now, I mean, there's religious knowledge, for example, knowledge of the division of inheritance. Well, the average person is not required to know that. I mean, but some in the community needs to know that. So some of this religious knowledge may be, we could say, Fard Kifaya, also from the areas of religious knowledge. Or, for example, a person is newly, they've come into Islam, etc., and or they just grew up, they're in their teens, etc. Marriage is not an issue for them. So to have knowledge about marriage and its rules and its regulations, etc., this is not knowledge required for them at that point in time. When the time comes for them to get married, now they're contemplating marriage, then it's now necessary for them, it's an obligation on them as an individual to get the necessary knowledge in order to do that particular act properly. But our basic acts like the 5 times daily prayer, fasting in Ramadan, these type of acts which are regularly required of a Muslim, these are the ones we can say are clearly fard ayn, that it is an individual obligation for each and every Muslim to have that knowledge. A further question from lectures here in Dubai at the Islamic Information Center, known as Discover Islam, where lectures are regularly made available to the public, and you can contact them at 396-2190 to find out the schedule for lectures for women, for men, for children, tajweed classes, lectures in Tagalog, as well as lectures in other languages, Malayalam, English, etc. This is one of the questions coming out of one of those lectures. Can women grow their nails? Well, the tradition, the Western tradition of growing these huge claws, they would become more claws than they are nails. Because when we think of a claw, we think of something long and curved, and then this is what these extended nails really become. This is something not in keeping with Islamic tradition. Prophet ﷺ had recommended that every Muslim remove certain parts of the body. The hair, which is known as pubic hair, hair under the armpits, this is to be removed regularly. Similarly, trimming the toenails and the fingernails. And these have hygienic value. When we're eating, when we're doing things, if the nails are long, then food, dirt gets underneath them. The amount of cleaning you have to do to remove all of this, becomes quite expensive. So this has definite hygienic value, to keep one's nails short. And it's recommended to do it every Friday, though the main point is that it does not go beyond 40 days. As the companion said, we didn't used to let 40 days pass without trimming our nails and doing, removing the hair, etc., from the pubic hair, etc. So, I mean, what grows in that 40-day period, one could say is, acceptable, though should be removed. What goes beyond that, really, we're then going into the unacceptable area. Can women wear jeans, shirts, and a t-shirt, or skirts and blouses? Of course, if women are wearing these things underneath their outer garment, then there is no harm. There's an outer garment that they wear when they go out of their homes or when they're in the presence of men who they can marry. As long as whatever they wear underneath is their business. Or now, if they're in the presence of people who they cannot marry, they can wear blouses and skirts and shirts. Jeans, where it is, this is a part of men's dress, unless it is very wide, jeans which are, we call like culottes or something like this, which is almost like a dress with a split in the middle. These kinds of things which are distinctly female. I mean, if it's wearing pants looking like men's pants, then the Prophet ﷺ had also forbidden that women imitate the dress of men, or that men imitate the dress of women. And we should just note here that other garments that they're wearing, of course, it should be modest. I mean, it shouldn't be things which are very low cut and so on and so on, amongst others that, though yes, you can't marry these people, but, just from a point of modesty, Islamically it would not be, appropriate to wear dresses and garments which either expose parts of the body, some of the more private parts of the body, or things which are so clingy and tight and whatever that it is again exposing body parts. Now, we're shifting over to some questions from the internet. Okay, the first question comes from Hani, who is writing from Canada. He says, if riba is haram in all its forms, then everything in my life has unfortunately been directly or indirectly touched by riba. One of our cars, although paid off within a few months from the time of purchase, has a scent of riba. Even my medical degree was financed from the U.S. government. I paid it off in my second year of residency, which is absolutely unheard of. Even my income from medicine, a large portion arises from the riba-based government, Medicaid, Medicare, or insurance companies. Where does it end, Dr. Bilal? At what point is pure enough? There just isn't anything we can discuss that doesn't have riba, direct or indirect, in it. For example, our interest-free checking account, the reason it is free is because they are making riba profits from our and other accounts to subsidize the free ones. Our credit cards, we pay them off immediately, monthly, so no riba is accrued. We are categorized as convenience users. We are a loss to the company, but the loss is subsidized from other riba-paying accounts and riba fees on the vendors. Even if we were to rent, all we're doing is paying off monthly riba mortgage for the landlord. The list is long. We're operating in a medium of riba, direct or indirect. What do we say to this? Well, first and foremost, the Prophet ﷺ had spoken about times to come in which riba would be so widespread in society that if a person wasn't touched by it directly, the dust of it would come upon him. Now, that doesn't mean that it's now permissible for people to just jump into riba feet first, saying, okay, if you tell me where you can't escape it, then we may as well just go to the bank and take out our loans on riba. Now, this is not the point. What it's saying is that no matter how hard you try, you're going to be touched. There are things that are beyond your control. When you go to a store and you buy food, you buy halal food which is acceptable. What the grocer does, he has bought that food with money. Where did he get that money? Maybe he got it from a loan from the bank. Maybe he got it from all kinds of sources. But the point is so that food that you're buying has been touched by riba through the company that you're buying it from or the store you're buying it from. However, that product itself, which is being handed to you, is halal, and the money you're paying for it is halal. What he again does with that money, if he puts it in the bank and uses it for this or that or the other, that's his affair. Your dealing here is free of riba. Though the scent of it is there, that scent, that touch, you're not held accountable for. Similarly, the issue of paying rent, the rent is halal. What the landlord does with the rent that you pay, again, this is not for you to delve into, for you to worry about. That is his affair. What you know is that fundamentally the building that you're renting in is halal. To get an apartment is halal, to pay rent is halal. So what they do with it after that is irrelevant. Now, if you are renting in a building which is haram, for example, if you went and rented a room in a brothel, this place is set up for haram. Though the actual concept of renting a room is halal, the context in which you're renting it is haram, so you cannot do so. So, I think, Brother Hani, what is important for you is to know that where it has been avoided to the best degree that you can, what comes beyond your control, you're not held accountable for. But what you choose to enter into, then you're accountable for. If you have a credit card, then my advice is to get one which has a direct debit, system, whereby whatever you spend is extracted from the bank immediately, and there is no contract of riba or interest that you make. With that, dear viewers, I'd like to thank you for being with us in this segment of our program, In the Light of Islam. And we hope that you continue to follow the program in its coming segments. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.